Hey guys, what's up? How is everybody doing? Today is Thursday, October 8th, 2020, and this is the DK DFS Showdown video here at No Huddle Fantasy Sports. And as always, thank you guys so much for finding your way here to the channel, specifically finding your way to this video. I do really appreciate it. Before we get started, my only ask of you guys, if you enjoy these videos, if you find them entertaining, more importantly, if you find them helpful, please make sure you give it a like, share these videos. I would really appreciate it. And hey, if you enjoy DFS, specifically NFL DFS, No Huddle Fantasy Sports is putting out content multiple times a week geared towards NFL DFS. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We've been absolutely killing it over the last couple of weeks. The only way you're going to get notified, the only way you're going to be up to date is to make sure you are subscribed to the channel. So that's the easiest, most freest way to help support No Huddle Fantasy Sports. And as always, I do really appreciate you guys taking that extra step here. But what are we talking about tonight? We have Thursday night football, single game slate. In this video, we always break down on Thursdays, specifically diving into the DraftKings app here. And we're going to talk about the captain mode, the single game showdown style slate here. And tonight we have a decent matchup, in my opinion. Two good teams, to be fair, versus the last couple of weeks. I think it's a better matchup than most. But in general, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers visiting the Chicago Bears tonight in what can be, I would classify as a defensive battle. It's a 44.5 over-under. In my opinion, the over will not be hit in this particular game. And overall, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, although they're on the road, are slight favorites on the road at -3.5. In general, I agree with Vegas here. I think you're talking about two really good defenses, both in terms of defending the pass and defending the rush tonight. So I think you're going to have a lower scoring game. I think you're going to have a closer game. In general, it should be a good one, though. So let's generally jump into the slate. Let's navigate our way over to a contest. Chose the wrong thing here. We're talking single game showdown, of course. And we're going to talk about everything from the captain spot, leverage, flex players, basically how you can build the best lineup to take advantage of this single game slate. And I mentioned that because this is a single game slate. We're talking two total teams. It's much more risky versus the main slates. There's a ton of course, ownership dedicated to particular players. You got to know where players, in terms of DFS players, are going to go with ownership and whether or not you need to go there or not. So my opinion, as always, is to have fun tonight. Treat it differently, much more light compared to your regular slates on Sunday, your main slates. I have fun. I want to get exposure to a game that I would probably be not interested in watching. So that's my recommendation to you guys. Of course, it's your money. You do whatever the hell you want with it. But hopefully you're here to have some fun tonight. So let's start at the captain spot here. I'm really interested in a couple of guys. The first guy, the guy that stands out here, 16,800 in the captain spot is Tom Brady. I'm not going to be playing Tom Brady tonight at captain. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me. But I like wide receivers tonight, and I want to start with Allen Robinson II at 15,900. An expensive price tag, but definitely worth it here. Allen Robinson is an elite receiver. I challenge anyone to submit something different to me. And really what has happened, the first couple of weeks of the season, he had 9 targets in each game. He had several targets before Nick Foles came in week 3. The guy just had really bad quarterback play with Trubinsky. The efficiency was bad. All the targets that were catchable if you focus in on Allen Robinson were caught. There just weren't very many in general. What do you know, though? Nick Foles comes in week 3, week 4, really good games for Allen Robinson, has caught a touchdown in each game, has had double-digit targets. I think he's a really safe play. And he is facing a Tampa Bay team, to be perfectly honest with you, that has a very good defense, both in terms of their secondary, their pass rush, their ability to stop the run, and their ability to stop the pass. But I think, in general, the way you attack Tampa Bay is through the air. I don't think David Montgomery is going to have much room tonight. Therefore, I think Chicago, in a game that they're scheduled to trail, will have to resort to the pass. And more specifically, Indianapolis in week 4 was a tough matchup for Nick Foles, was a tough matchup for Allen Robinson. They still got it done. 7 receptions, 100-plus yards, a touchdown, and 10 targets. I like Allen Robinson. He is easily my favorite captain player tonight. Scrolling down here, in my opinion, I will talk about a lot of these players at flex, but the only other guys I'm really interested in terms of a captain spot, you can save some money here with Scottie Miller at 10,500. Yes, he has a questionable tag. As far as I understand, this guy will be playing tonight on Thursday night, and for good reason. They need receivers. Chris Godwin is out. And then you have Mike Evans, who is scheduled to warm up. We'll see how that plays out. I really like Scottie Miller to fill in here. They're missing O.J. Howard. There's a lot of targets that are potentially missing tonight from this offense. And I think as a result, Scottie Miller becomes a great play. In general, again, Chicago's team is really good on defense versus virtually everything. Top 5 pass rush, top 5 secondary, top 5 defensive front versus the run. All good things here. I think, again, on the road here, you're going to see Ronald Jones not have a lot of room to run the ball, and as a result, Tom Brady's going to go to the air. Regardless, they're going to go to the air. They're on the road here. Scottie Miller lining up at 10,500 saves you a little bit of money, helps you fit more expensive players in. I do really like Scottie Miller at 10.5. And my risky play here, my third lineup, should I go there, will be with Rob Gronkowski at the captain spot. And I know you're thinking this guy has been absolutely horrible to start the year, and he really has. He had a game with 7 targets. We hopefully will get there tonight. 6 receptions, 7 targets in week 3, only 48 yards, barely used in the red zone, barely really used at all in their offense as of late. But I do like the play tonight. I think it's a good spot. Again, I think Tom Brady is going to have to attack Chicago through the air. They're not going to be able to run the ball very much tonight. So as a result, who is going to get targets tonight? Well, for one, if Mike Evans is going to be out, and we won't know until literally right before the game when he tries to warm up, that makes Rob Gronkowski, if Mike Evans is out, more of a must-play for me, both in flex and at captain. And the reasoning is simple. There's no one else to throw the ball to at this point. I mean, I talked about Scottie Miller. Chris Godwin is out. Mike Evans is banged up. O.J. Howard, who has been catching all the touchdowns as tight end, is going to be out tonight. It's literally Gronk, Scottie Miller, and Cameron Brate. All guys I'm interested in this particular slate. But I do think you can finally take a shot here at Gronkowski. And if it doesn't happen tonight, I don't know when it's going to happen for him. But I do like him, and he saves you a ton of money. He's $5,800 overall, but $87 at the captain spot. Again, a really good price tag on him for good reason. He hasn't done much, but definitely in a spot tonight where he can excel versus the Chicago team. Now let's talk flex in general. All guys I mentioned should be paired with their quarterbacks. So if you're going to play Gronk, a captain, if you're going to play Scottie Miller, you got to play Tom Brady. You got to get that correlation going. If you expect Scottie Miller to catch 2 or 3 touchdowns, if that's what you're hoping for, well, that means Tom Brady's going to have a good game too. Similar deal, if you're playing Allen Robinson, you got to play Nick Foles. In my opinion, if you can fit both Foles and Brady in a lineup at flex, you should do that. I think both are great flex plays tonight when there's not very many other players to go with. But coming down the list here, I've talked about the quarterbacks. I've talked about, of course, Allen Robinson. All the captain players are available and should be played at flex too. But Mike Evans, I'm not interested in. I think if he plays, he's going to be injured. We've seen games with him where he has had only a target or 2. He caught a touchdown. He's getting used in the red zone. Another reason I like Gronkowski. That opens up a lot of red zone targets. But you see games with 2 targets here. I'm just not going to go there, even if he is healthy. Of course, coming down here, David Montgomery, playing at home, a running back. He's not favored, which is a little bit of a downside. I think Tampa Bay's rush defense is one of the best in the league. In fact, if you look at the stats, if you look at Pro Football Focus and their grading, they most certainly are top 5 versus the run. So I'm not interested in going here. You saw him last week not do much versus Indy, another good team against the run. Hasn't had 100 yards yet. He's getting carries, but not many. If you're interested in him, it has to be because he's going to get more usage in the passing game with Cohen out. I don't know if I'll go there, but that's my thoughts on Montgomery. Flex play at most for him. Ronald Jones is interesting from the fact that I don't think very many people will go there. The play on Ronald Jones will be based upon Fournette's health. If Fournette is in fact ruled out tonight, I definitely am interested in Ronald Jones at flex. I don't know how much as of yet. We'll see how the builds come out. But in general, he's been getting a lot of carries. He had 20 last week with Fournette out. They're a good top 5 rushing offensive line. In fact, both teams are tonight. So it lines up good. It's going to be a tough defense. He saw 6 receptions last week on 9 targets. Hopefully we see more of the same at that. That makes me interested definitely in Ronald Jones. The receptions, everything that was associated with Fournette being out. Fournette is listed as doubtful, so that makes me more interested in Ronald Jones for sure. Coming down a little bit, I talked about Scottie Miller. Jimmy Graham's been getting targets at times in this offense. Had 15 targets in the last 2 weeks. Caught 2 touchdowns when Nick Foles came in. I do like Jimmy Graham. I think he's a decent play at tight end at flex. Anthony Miller here. Again, another player for Chicago at the wide receiver position. Hasn't done much, but is certainly a guy that can blow up at times. Doesn't get a lot of targets. You could consider him at flex if you need to come down in price a little bit here. Scrolling through some of these quarterbacks, I mentioned Gronk. I think both defenses and both kickers are in play tonight. I typically don't play either of those positions at flex, but I mentioned both of these defenses are really, really good. I'm talking top 5 in every stat, every grading that you can imagine. Chicago and Tampa Bay are elite defenses facing off against pretty good offensive lines tonight. So it'll be interesting how it plays out. Maybe some turnovers, that's what you're hoping for here. But I don't think one is more at risk than the other. Maybe go Bears at home for a little bit cheaper here versus a banged up Tampa Bay team. That might be the play. Kickers, both in play here. Again, you need to save some money. I think both are in play in what should be a low-scoring, a lot of field goal style game. And then the last guy I want to mention here is Cameron Brate. I don't know. If you need to go here, he is a possibility. He got a touchdown, not Gronk. For some reason, Brady goes to other tight ends, but definitely will be getting more usage here now that O.J. Howard is out. So if you need to save the money, I don't mind Cameron Brate for $3,800. But in general, those are my thoughts at captain. I think that's how you can get some leverage here. Some of the higher-owned players I am avoiding, and that's kind of how I'm building my lineups. That's how you get some leverage tonight. So I suggest let's try to quickly build a lineup. I'll admit to you, I have not done this yet, but let's throw Gronk in. I think that's definitely going to save us some money. That gets us both Tom Brady, Nick Foles. Let's throw Allen Robinson in. We got $4,700. I don't know if we can go with Scottie Miller, but we can definitely come down here. We can select the Chicago kicker. That gets us up to $5,500. $5,500 builds us Tampa Bay's defense should we want to go there. I think we can definitely do that. We can consider that, or we can go both kickers here. So an interesting build tonight. This, of course, will not be my final build, but to show you guys what Gronk can get you some of the more expensive players here with both kickers. In general, those are my thoughts tonight. I think overall, it's going to be a low-scoring defensive game. Hopefully, some of these plays we mentioned do pay out. You guys should be having fun tonight. Let's gear up. Let's get ready. Let's get pumped for Week 5. NFL DFS on Sunday. Hopefully, either tonight or tomorrow, my more in-depth Sunday main slate video will come out regarding DFS NFL. Please make sure you check that out. Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel. All the good stuff. I'm pretty sure if you just go down below and click a bunch of random buttons, somehow, some way, you'll probably help my channel out. So I appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully these videos are helpful. Hopefully you enjoy them. Besides that, good luck tonight, Thursday Night Football. I will check you out in the next video.